Welcome to the show. Everybody is Dee. I'm glad you're here. Let's get into some things. I hope you're ready, cause this is what I do. It's all about different perspectives in here. Where you gon' get the real, no BS in here. We keep it real as we can. You can tell your truth and feel comfortable here. DeeDee's reactions, videos and live things. DeeDee's reactions, she's about to put on a show. These reactions, just to let you know, like, share, subscribe. We about to go live. It's DeeDee's reactions. Keep it real, keep it DeeDee's reactions. What you gon' do? DeeDee's reactions. We about to go live. Subscribe. We about to go live. It's DeeDee's reactions. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh.
What up, YouTube? It's your girl, DeeDee. Welcome back to another live stream. I hope y'all are doing fine. Listen, as you come into the building, make sure you hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, you guys. Make sure you hit the like button as you come into the building. Also, if you're new to the channel and you like the content and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's free to subscribe, share, and like the stream. And also, support the channel via Super Chat or Cash App. And make sure you guys are hyping up the videos that are posted on the channel as well. Listen, as you come into the building, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, y'all. Also, put a 1 in the chat. 1 quickly in the chat if y'all can hear me good. 1 in the chat if you can hear me good. 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me good. If the audio is good, 1 in the chat. And then we're going to get started. What's going on, y'all? So happy Saturday. I know y'all probably surprised to see me back, but I had to jump into this Carmelo Anthony situation, y'all. It's all over social media. Everybody is talking about it. So I had to get my little 2 cents on it, and I definitely want to get y'all thoughts as well. Listen, as you come into the building, thumbs up, you guys. That definitely helps the channel. But shout out to everybody in the building, everybody watching, everybody who supports the channel. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this whole Carmelo Anthony situation, baby. So you guys see the title. We're going to play probably what y'all already have seen. But I just wanted to hop in here and give my thoughts on it really quickly. And I want to get your thoughts as well. So make sure you leave your comments in the chat. I want to hear your thoughts on this whole situation with this this video release, this leak of the actual, the actual situation that happened at the stadium out here in Frisco, Texas, y'all. Listen, I want to play a little bit of it, and then I want to also replay it from a person who was actually in the courtroom for the proceedings and actually saw the video. Nique at Nite. Shout out to Nique at Nite. I want to play her perspective because she was actually there when they, it was one of the people who was there, on the case, and she saw all of this beforehand. But I want to get into it. There's once again, this whole case has a lot of speculation. There are people out here who are saying, see, he's guilty. There it is. We see it. I want to know y'all thoughts before I give my 2 cents on it. And I want to play the video so we can go through it. I see what people are saying in the chat. Everybody's still going to have their own opinion about it, of course, as you should. But we're going to look at what they released, and I want to get your thoughts on it. And I know you guys probably already seen it, but I want to get your thoughts here on this live stream, just to get your perspective. And we're going to kind of go through it. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Make sure you're supporting via Super Chat or Cash App. You guys, it definitely helps the channel to grow. Nighttime 1984 says, hey, DeeDee, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. And thank you so much for the Super Chat. Thank you once again. I appreciate you, bro. What's going on, Joe Mama? How are you? How you been? Hope all is well with you. Shout out to everybody in the building, y'all. I appreciate you guys once again. But I want to get into the first clip. I want to play this one. Let's go through it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. If y'all see something I don't see, then I want to go through it again with Nique at Nite, because she kind of breaks down where Carmelo is at, because it's kind of confusing if you don't know who's who. But we're going to get into the video, you guys. Y'all let me know what y'all think. People calling it self-defense would be outraged if the same was applied to police and resisting arrest. This would mean police could use deadly force. let's check it out. Look at this. So here we go. So this is what they posted, I think, on Fox News, everywhere. All of the news stations have this posted out. So this is the video. This is how it starts. You know, the children are just walking in. We don't know who is who. This is the actual stadium. And those are the tents that were on the stadium, right? Now they highlight that. Now that's supposed to be Carmelo walking here. So that's him coming into the stadium. Okay. Let me see if I can make it. I was trying to see if I can make it bigger. But I can't make it bigger. Or maybe I can. Let's see. Let's go full screen. So this is the full screen. So these are the kids on the bleachers. Now this tent right here is what we're supposed to be looking at with the yellow right here. This is the tent that Carmelo and Metcalf and everybody is supposedly under. And if you pay attention, right in this area is what we're supposed to be looking at. So if you look in this area, you see a little bit of movement. But we can't, I mean, we can't really see anything. I wish they could have enhanced it to be closer, to come closer. So we just see them under. Now we see some movement. And then he pops out. It was real quick. There was some movement, and then he pops out and he starts running. Then he stops. And so basically, this is him walking. They end up arresting him, which we have the body cam of the arrest as well. So I don't know. He's confused. He's walking back and forth. I guess he doesn't know what to do. So somebody is consoling him here. You know, so really, so then this is where they apprehend him. So they apprehended him here. They took him into custody, and then we'll get to the arrest video. But that's all we see. That's what we see. There clearly was something going on under the tent, but we can't even really see that close up. We could see multiple people standing. We can see movement with multiple people. It's not just one person moving, it's multiple people moving under that tent. So we can't really see what actually happened. We just see movement under the tent. It was more than one person moving, and then he emerged from the tent, and then he runs, right? And then they apprehend him. So that is the question that people are having. But I want to move because I want to get to the video of Nique at Night, who actually was there, who covered this, and she can give a better perspective of what she saw, basically what we just saw.
All right. Hey y'all. It's your girl Nique.
In this, at this event. I want to pull her up, and I'm gonna get right to when she starts to talk about this, right?
You can be in fact this video is enhanced. There's still quite some distortion.
Now she's saying the video that we just watched, the video that is out there, is enhanced, but it's still blurry. We can't really still see what actually happened underneath the tent. We see Carmelo come in, we see him run out. We see movement under the tent, more than one person. So what was happening there? What were the movement of people? What were they doing? Because it wasn't just one person moving. It was a few people you could see moving, but she's gonna,
because even though we saw the grainy video, it was at a little bit further back of a distance. Also, we were able to see raindrops in the footage. Like as the footage was going on, we saw rain throughout the footage. Now, when I was watching this video, I seen like one raindrop fall, but you couldn't even tell that it was a raindrop. So even though this is enhanced, there's still significant distortion as well, if that makes sense. If y'all catch my drift. Anyways, let me put it up so that we can see it. Let me bring it to the top and let's review it.
so
all right. So as you
closer,
can see, the tent that they were under is the yellow tent. And I let you guys know that this was like a canopy. It wasn't like an enclosed tent. Now you can see movement right before Carmelo jumps up. Now let me pause it because the figure that is highlighted that just jumped out of the tent is Carmelo Anthony,
Right.
and he's gonna jump down. I'm going to bring it back because you can see movement under the tent prior to him jumping out of the tent. So let me go and bring it back. So let's bring it back. So let me see if I can make it even or zoom in even more. Okay, hold on. It's not letting me zoom in anymore. So hold on, wait. Let me see if I could do it this way.
Okay, so that's a little bit better.
All right. So let me bring it back. Hopefully you guys can see, but even though the video is blurry, all of the children's testimony, they said that Carmelo was sitting down the whole time, right? I want you guys to follow me here. They said that Carmelo was sitting down the entire time and that Carmelo never got out of his seat. Now, when I put this video back on the screen, you're going to see how it looks like more than just Austin is standing up. So right before the stab, you can see movement where it looks like more than just one person is up. That's what it looks like, and that's what it appears to me. So let me play it. Somebody said, why don't you just play the clear video? Can somebody answer this person for me? I don't have the clear video. This is what's released. We did not see a clear video in court. We saw a grainy video. This is a more enhanced video of the grainy video, but it still has some distortion. We didn't see a crystal clear video. Y'all asking for stuff that we did not see in the court.
So
All right.
Yeah.
So as you can see,
Yeah.
there was some type of
Shuffling or something.
shuffling
Yeah.
under here. Let's bring it back again.
You could see a few people moving around. Yeah. Yep. There we go. Look, that's yep. There's a few people moving around for sure. And then he exits.
All right. I'm bringing it back one more time. All right. We're bringing it back again. And then as you can see, he starts to run. All right, let me bring it back one more time. Now, even this video is cropped to the left. In the version that we saw, we can see the other tint as well. Like this video is kind of cropped and it cuts some of the footage off that was to the left. So let me take this comment off. Let's watch it one more time and let me try to zoom in. And if there is a more clear version, if there's a even more clearer version, send me the link. But this is what is on Twitter, and this is the clearest version that I've saw so far. And this is about the quality that we saw in court. All right. So look under the yellow canopy, because they keep calling it a tent, but it's a canopy. You see that? It looks like more than one body is up in the shuffling, and he starts to run. And then he runs off.
And then also another thing I noticed, because he has on like a lighter colored sweatshirt, right? And everybody else's clothing look a little bit.
All right, we're bringing it back again. And then as you can see, he starts to run.
They were saying he was sitting down and they were up. Others were up, but that's what it appears to be, because we see other movement of people look like they're standing and moving, and it looks like something transpired or look like a shove or push or something you could see, almost like a fight. That's what it looks like. Let's continue. And then he emerged.
All right, let me bring it back one more time. Now, even this video is cropped to the left. In the version that we saw, we can see the other tint as well. Like this video is kind of cropped and it cuts angles of it.
Let's move forward.
So this is another angle that was released.
Hold on, let me go back because I don't want to skip. Let me go back to that part. So
all right, so this is when he walks up to a coach. A coach then detains him, and then a police arrives shortly after. Now, this individual released other angles of it. So this is another angle that was released.
So this is when they basically apprehended him, arrested him, detained him.
Wait, is there audio on here? I can't hear any audio.
There is audio.
Let me pull it up on my phone, because I don't hear audio. I don't hear audio. Hold on. Let me pull it up on my phone.
slow down. I got the alleged suspect in handcuffs right now, detained. You can open up the channel, and medics are clear to come in. Have them come to the northeast entrance. That's me gate that's wide open there, and then come to the victim.
Oops, sorry, y'all. Hold on.
You can open up the channel, and medics are clear to come in. Have them come to the northeast entrance. That's me gate that's wide open there, and then come to the victim from there. It's the alleged suspect. Okay. What they there?
All right, so if you guys listen closely, this was something that they paused when we were in court to replay him saying that he's not the alleged suspect, he's the one who did it. So if you listen to the officer radioing him and saying, hey, dispatch, I got the alleged suspect, you can hear Carmelo telling him
That is not alleged he did it.
You can hear Carmelo telling him that he's not the alleged suspect, like he's the one who did it. So let me bring it back for you guys so that you guys know what you're listening for.
Mm-hmm.
Dispatch 443, I got the suspects, and they're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium. All right. Anyway,
This is unfortunate though, Lord. I mean, you gotta be careful out here in these streets.
Oh, look here. Y'all back up a little bit. Come over here for me. Over here. I'm gonna put your handcuffs for now, okay? Dispatch 443. Everybody can slow down. I got the alleged suspect in handcuffs right now, detained. You can open up the channel, and medics are clear to come in. Have them come to the northeast entrance. That's me gate that's wide open there, and then come to the victim from there. It's the alleged suspect. Okay. What they there? So nothing on your person at all. Nothing. Mind if I reach in your pockets and stuff and all that? Nothing stabbing? Okay. A little personal there, okay? Just to make sure.
All right, and I'm gonna I don't know if they have the body cam of his partner. So there was a woman officer who was recording at the same time, and you can hear Carmelo a lot more clearly say, I'm not the alleged suspect. So in court, they showed us this video, and then they showed us the woman officer was a white woman who also had her body cam on. We seen her footage of her, and we heard him say, I'm not the alleged suspect, I did it in that video as well. So if they have it up, I'm going to play everything that's posted, you guys. Make sure you're hitting the like button, the share, all of those good things. And I'll go over my notes and share so much more.
All right. The victim's going to be underneath that tent over there, so I'll get medics. More tent over there, guys. All right. He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me. Victor, we'll be on the north end. They got staff standing to him right now. This is the suspect.
So he
All right,
said,
so
I
this
told
was
him
another part
to put his
in
hands
the
on me.
trial where they pointed out him crying, and they wanted to know the officer. Let me get his name actually that testified. They wanted to know what was Carmelo's emotional state. Like, what was his state when he was saying, you know, that he put his hands on me, blah, 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 and all of those things. And the officer was trying to like downplay his emotions, like, oh yeah, when he said that he was emotional, but I don't really know. Like, the officer was very dismissive. But what I learned in these cases is the officers be on code and they be downplaying certain things for certain individuals.
So let me ask y'all this. So do y'all, I want to ask y'all, let me know in the chat. Do y'all think that him crying saying he told him not to put his hands on him and then he proceeded to defend himself? So y'all see that as self-defense, or what do you see that as? What do you see that as? If somebody walks up to you and put their hands on you, whether they push you, whether they punch you, whether they do what, how do you respond in that situation? What do you do? Do you defend yourself? What do you do? Do you punch him back? Do you push him back? What do you do? And, you know, we're still trying to establish if, you know, what was really going on under that tent, because we really can't see. She was at the court and she said all of the friends testified that Carmelo was sitting down. He never stood up. So the movement that we see, if we believe their testimonies, it's not him standing. It's him sitting down, and other movement is around him. But what are they doing? So do y'all think they're just in his face? Because it looks like more than one person. Now maybe, you know, Metcalf is the one who pushed him, but there was certainly other movement as well. So what do y'all think? What do y'all make of this? I want to know. Do y'all think they were just standing around him? What y'all think was happening? Because him saying, in my opinion, oh, I told him not to touch me, he put his hands on me, that means that person specifically touched him. You could argue that, oh, he didn't get jumped because he didn't say they put their hands on. Maybe, I mean, you could interpret that in a few different ways. You know, you could, you know, if you have ever been in a fight, or if you've ever been jumped, it's the initial person who you're in, you know, arguing with or beefing with. And then they put their hands on you, whatever, then y'all start, and then other people jump in. It's not always everybody just jump on you at once. It's usually incident between two people, and then others jump in. Look, if you've seen fights and you've seen people get jumped, it's usually, a lot of times they're not arguing with the whole person. If somebody's approaching you, it's usually one person approaching you, and then their friends who got their back, they're waiting to see what's going on. And when the fight pops off, then they all start to jump in. Now, this, I don't know if they've speeded it up, if they sped it up or what. It seemed pretty quick, but all you could see, we can't clearly see anything. We can't clearly see who was all standing around him, but we see shadows of people standing. And if they testified he was sitting down, I mean, he was sitting, and whoever those were, maybe Metcalf, his brother, and some others were all standing. And then you could see movement. And then he pops out of the tent. So if he's sitting down and they're standing over him, what do y'all think is happening? Like, what's going on? You know, it's still a mystery to me. Myron Magnus, thank you for the super chat. Excuse me, y'all. Says you need to have the entire original video to put in proper perspective. Carmelo was under the tent for at least 15 to 20 minutes before the Metcalf brothers and friends come up. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Blue X says, it's a coincidence they released this footage during Juneteenth weekend. That's interesting. And some people have feelings about that, Blue X, as well. Yeah, this is crazy. So people are saying he wasn't jumped, you know, that wasn't true. So what happened? Successful MD, thank you for the super chat, says there is a longer video that showed 5 to 6 boys going to the tent. It was a setup. They also lied in court, and it was just Austin and it was just Austin and Carmelo. The judge didn't even allow the full video for a reason. Where is the full video? I want to see the full video because people keep saying that this video looks altered, that this is not the full video. They're saying there's a longer video that show 5 to 6 boys going to the tent. People have alleged that, and the people who were actually in the court said that they saw the video, that he was, they cornered him and he was jumped. And now this video that they just put out, we can't tell if that is the case. So everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people are speculating that, oh, he didn't get jumped. See, he didn't get jumped. But clearly, if they testified he was sitting down and there's people standing up over him, what are they doing? Like, I don't think they're standing over him, having a party. What are they standing over him doing? And then you can see, looks like pushing or tussling, and then he exits the tent and runs. This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. Thank you, Successful MD. Like, where is the video of the longer part where he's, and if I could get that, I'll play it. But it's just something that's not looking right to me. I mean, I just don't know how people could say, oh, he's just the one thing I will say, whether you agree with what's happening or not, how can you paint him as a stone cold killer? He just went out there to kill somebody. I don't believe that at all. It looks like it was a fight, looked like something was happening. And you could very well say he defended himself. What do y'all think? What you think he was supposed to do? If the young people that testified said he never stood up, then who are those groups of people up and what are they doing? And then you could see movement, and then he exits the tent. So this doesn't look like a clear cut case of, oh, he's the murderer. He just did it. He came there to do that, and that's that. No. And listen, this is Collin County, Texas. I'm in Texas. There's a lot that goes on in Texas. That's all I'll say. But I'm just saying, I'm very familiar with that, with Frisco, Texas, and that county. Just to say, what I'm saying. And it's like, come on now, this is not a clear cut case. Oh my God, he ran out there to hurt somebody. He's a malicious killer. No, I wouldn't say that. I would not say that. And that's all I'm saying. And I think people, anybody looking at this shouldn't be coming to that conclusion, because there are other cases that we could point to say, if this is that, why weren't those other cases, that those young men who were non-Black, why weren't they looked at as cold-blooded killers? When they kind of did something very similar. I don't know, y'all. It's just this is crazy. Dane C, thank you for the super chat. Says, hey, DeeDee, at the end of the day, Carmelo never testified. That's another thing. Why didn't he testify? People are saying that his defense did not serve any justice, that they weren't really, doing what they were supposed to do. This is what people are saying. And then people are quitting, stepping down and left and right. Something is not right with this. That's all I'm saying. Listen, if I could see a clear cut video of him just going at the Metcalf young man, and rest in peace to him, because it's unfortunate that he had to lose his life in this situation. But this video doesn't show a clear cut case of, malicious murder intent. It doesn't. It really doesn't. You know what I mean? And I just think, like, if a person tells you don't touch me, why would you continue and push to touch them? If that was, he said, I told him not to touch me, why would you go and touch somebody to instigate something? Everybody is not going to just let you approach them and do anything and just step back and just say, okay, I'm so sorry. I told you don't touch me. Let me just, back away. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on. I think a lot of times the things that people expect other people to do, they won't do it themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I just think, once again, and I said before, this is an unfortunate situation. Life was lost. And I think that's, unfortunate. And this young man is in jail fighting for his life. Like, this all could have been avoided, is what I keep saying. And I don't know how else to look at it. This all could have been avoided. But once again, this video it doesn't really show a whole lot. It doesn't really show that we can't see the actual interactions of really what happened in that tent, because we can't see. We just see him come into the stadium, going, sit down, and then, you know, something transpire underneath that thing, and then he runs out. That's not a clear enough indication to say, oh, this is malicious murder. That's all I'm saying. Thank you, Dane C. I appreciate you. Let's continue. Let's see what else.
Let me do one more little check of you, okay?
So this is the arrest part. This is them arresting him.
What's your name, man?
Carmelo Anthony, K-A-R-M-E-L-O.
Have a seat here real quick, man. Okay. Check your hood, buddy, okay? I'll tell you what, lean this way so you're not resting on your hands, okay? All right, see a little bit of blood on your hands there, okay? All right. So your first name is Carmelo? Let's see, hold on one second. I don't know yet, man. Carmelo, K-A-R-M-E-L-O, Carmelo. What's your last name? A-N-T-H. And why? Where are you at? 10th grade? You go to Emerson? Where do you go? Centennial. Okay.
I'm in 12th grade.
12th grade? Okay. No, Centennial. All right, sit tight for me real quick, bud, all right? All right. Let me run this guy real quick. I haven't talked to him at all.
All right, so that's that video. If you guys want me to replay any portion of it, I can. Let me go to the part where he starts crying and says that he put his hands on me.
Over there, so I'll get medics.
And then we'll go to the other part.
Memorial tent over there, guys. All right.
All right. And let's go to the next piece. So this is one of the pictures that was released from the body cam. All right. So this is another angle that we saw. And this is the one where you can kind of see the raindrops coming out. So the figure that has the spotlight on him that just popped out from the bleachers, this is where Carmelo entered into. So you can see Carmelo walks past these other school tents. So when I did my coverage, I told you guys how the first black tent, it's a bunch of kids underneath it. You can see that it's completely packed under the first tent. Then he walks by the next tent, and then he goes into the memorial tent from the top. So the prosecution during the trial, they were like, oh, he took a beeline straight to the memorial tent. He passed all of these other tents. But as you can see, there's way more people under these first two tents that he walks by. And then the memorial tent, he goes up to Eddie, who he knew already. So let me play this for you guys. And I'm just trying to kind of give you guys some background on like how they presented things in court, what we saw, etc. All right. So as you can see, somebody walking, they put the spotlight in the middle of the entrance.
SDB 1218, thank you for the super chat. Says you have a racist in your chat. Oh, that's fine. SDP 12, they're welcome. You know, I'm not racist. You know, if there's racists in the chat, that's fine. That's fine. They're people too. That's just, you know, I know racism was taught, and I wasn't taught to be racist, so that's fine. They're still people. They can have their opinions. You know, I understand racists. But that's fine. Yeah, you know, I don't discriminate. If you racist and you got a racist point of view, that's fine. Go ahead. These types of conversations bring out the racist. I swear they do. But there are people who say racism doesn't exist. Yeah, I'm not being racist. I'm just going over some the information, and I think, racists don't like no information. Anytime you oppose something that they don't like, they resort to that. This is why I say, look, I understand. I understand the dynamics of racism and people who can't stand to see a different point of view from others. I'm not name calling people. I'm not saying all white people are just coons and clowns and crackers. I'm just going over the stuff. But when it doesn't fit their narrative, their racist tendencies come out. And it's fine. I understand it. I really do. And so, it is what it is. You can't change that. If you don't agree, then that tends to come out. And y'all know how I feel. I don't think we all have to agree, but you at least could be respectful. But people who don't understand respect because they're racist, they have that tendency. And I get it. Look, I'm just talking about it just like everybody else. And then when you go on the other people comments too, you see the same rhetoric. But black people are all the horrible ones. But white people don't do nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? And we have white friends and white people that we know that are not like that. So I know it's not all white folks, just like all black people are bad. There's bad and good in every group. And there's certainly some bad ones in their group too. They're not they're not exempt. Come on now. And even the good white people we do know say the same thing. They're not all together in their group either, because there are some people over there that have sense and common sense, and there's some that don't. You don't have to always agree with somebody, but you can at least be respectful. Isn't that if y'all so white is right, y'all parents didn't teach y'all respect? And the fact that everybody ain't gonna agree or see things the same way, but you still could be respectful and cordial. But we're the savages, Yeah, I get it totally. Trust me. I go to other people videos that talk about this, and I see it. I see it left and right. I just shake my head, child. I just shake my head. If I went to a white person video who was talking about this and call them crackers and all kind of names, they'll be like, oh my God, this is what you do. The usual suspect. Y'all just, but then when they do it, you can't get called out. Come on now. Nobody's offended by that, which is just the truth. A lot of times they don't want to, you can have your opinion. We don't have to agree, but why it got to go there? Because, it's like the people who always try to point a certain narrative a different way, usually they're the ones that fit the bill when you look at it. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. Look, why can't you just have your opinion and keep it moving? Why can't you have your opinion and keep it? If you think the boy is a straight up murderer, we've heard a bunch of people say that, white and black. It's not just white people who think that. There are black ones who agree. And all I'm saying is I'm just looking at what I see. And what I see, in my opinion, I don't see straight intentional murder. I don't see he went there to go and kill somebody. I don't see that. But some do. If that's what you see, well then kudos to you. Shit, that ain't got no problem with that. I'm just telling you my opinion. And shit, and if you don't like my opinion, why you here? Go to the people that agree with you. Simple as that. I don't understand. It's like when we see those videos of Karens following people. You following folks and getting in their face then telling them, leave you alone. Well, they not messing with you. You following them, looking for some shit, and then when they give it to you, you cry. You cry. Oh my God, I'm a victim. And how many times we seen Karens follow people and start shit with folks and then start screaming, oh, they're doing something to me. They're doing something to me, and then call the police and they got them on video lying. Come on, you can't tell me that they got a lot of y'all over there that's batshit crazy. So come on now, just be honest and be real. Stop with the foolishness. Like, what is going on? What is going on? Like, come on now. This ain't the 50s and the 60s. We got cameras and everywhere. We see the foolery with everybody. Nobody's exempt. There's crazy black people. There's crazy white people. There's crazy Indian, Asian people. There's crazy people everywhere. White folks aren't exempt. But all I'm saying is have your opinion. But you can be respectful if you've been raised right. If you've been raised right in your neighborhood and your trailer parks, y'all should understand how to, cordially respond in situations that when people don't agree. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, but that's people in general, child. It's a lot of people are like that. It ain't just white people. It's a lot of people. And that's my perspective. I've come across a lot of people. I don't know why my eyes are running, y'all. I think it's allergies. I would get allergies around this time. You know, it's just not one group of people that do that. It's a lot of people that do that. You know, and I say it all the time because I always say every time I do something, and this is why I don't really cover these types of situations because I know it brings out the worst in folks because people just are ready to be angry and mad at something. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, before we continue, I will say this. I personally think that some of this is put out because I think who was that said that it's interesting that they put this out on Juneteenth. It's almost as if people are looking for some type of riot, like you almost want black people to crash out. I don't know. I think some of this stuff is strategically done, and it's almost like there's a lot of things that's happening out here now. And it's almost as if things are occurring in a way to try to get black people riled up, and hitting the streets and doing all that. And a lot of people aren't doing that. People got to go to work. People got to live their lives. People don't have time to go out here in these streets and stomp the pavement over this foolishness. So I don't know. That could be a conspiracy theory, but child, listen, you'll be surprised at things that are strategically done to try to get people black folks riled up and mad over, and going out here to do stuff. And they're not doing that. They're not doing that. Thank you, SDB 1218. I appreciate you. Night Call 411. Thank you for the super chat. Says, if unwanted touching can lead to assault or battery charges, how can someone touch a police officer without automatically being charged? Doesn't context and intent matter? Right. So if unwanted touching can lead to assault or battery charges, how can someone touch a police officer without automatically being charged? You got a point there, Night Call 411. I mean, it is what it is. Look, it is what it is. I said it before. Thank you, Night Call. I said it before. This whole case is just unfortunate. I wish the young man was alive. I don't think he should have lost his life. But I also don't think that it was intentional. Just like it doesn't matter to me who's white, who's black, or whatever. The young man should be alive. But just like any situation, you got to look at the totality of the situation. I always say, stop approaching. Why do people feel the need to touch people and go approach when there could be consequences? That's all I'm saying. And anybody with logical sense would say the same. The young man shouldn't be dead. He should be alive. He should be alive. But to say that the Carmelo Anthony guy went there to intentionally do this to this young man, no, I don't think so. No. Thank you, Night Call. I appreciate you. No, I don't see that. I don't see the motive. He didn't know him. There was no motive to go there and just specifically do that to him. It looked like it was some sort of fight or something. And he said he protected himself, and he did. And that young man lost his life, which is unfortunate. And once again, if we talk about charges and stuff like that, I think there should have been charges. But I do think the 35 years is excessive. I think he should have got the 10 years like the other guys who got in fights and end up somebody losing their life, the same situation. The 35 years was excessive to me. And then, it's a lot going on with the case, and it's unclear to the public, but it's clear to some. But to me, this is not all that clear. You know what I'm saying? We don't actually see what actually transpired. People are really just guessing at this point. And to see him come onto the track and then leave and run out is not a clear indication that he just ran up there to do something when they're saying he was there first and then the other ones came after. So it's, in order for him to go to that track meet with an intention, I would think first off that he would actually have to know the person, and he's intentionally seeking him out. That, the Metcalfs was sitting there, and he came up there to their tent, and then he, proceeded to stab, and then I would say, oh no, baby, you came there to do that. But that doesn't seem like that was the case. That's all I'm saying. It's just a bad situation, unfortunate situation all the way around, y'all. Let's continue.
Of the bleachers, Carmelo is the one with the gray hoodie walking up across the bleachers. Okay, the spotlight follows him. Again, when we saw this footage in court, there was no spotlight around him. We didn't see any enhanced video at all. They showed us just the raw footage, and then they showed like the more enhanced footage later. All right, so that's that footage. Okay, and then this is a picture of the knife.
So
as you can see, this knife this is the multi-tool that they were talking about. So how the knife has this like wire or cord cutter right here, and then it has I think over here is like a spotlight, and the actual knife itself was 3.5 inches. Now this guy JD Miles, whatever he's using to upload his images, they're distorted, because in the trial we were able to see that the knife had raindrops on it and we could see blood. So when they showed us the pictures of the knife, you can see rain on top of the blade. So we saw rain like on the blade, and we saw blood mixed into the blade, and it was sitting on the bench. And then they showed where the backpack was, and etc. So however he's uploading these, it's like deteriorating some of the quality like significantly, because we saw, a lot more clear certain things. All right, so this is another body cam.
The alleged suspect.
Okay. No, I'm not. Well, I know how it goes. I'm not alleged. Okay.
All right, and so this is the partner's body cam. So the first video I showed you when he said we got the alleged suspect, this is the second body cam where you can hear him say, I know how it goes. I'm not the alleged suspect. I did it. Okay. And you can hear it a lot more clearly.
It's the alleged suspect.
Okay. No, I'm not. Well, I know how it goes. I'm not alleged. I did. Okay.
All right. It's going to play again.
It's the alleged suspect.
Okay. No, I'm not. Well, I know how it goes. I'm not alleged. I did. Okay.
All right. So as you can see, he says, I'm not alleged. I did it. All right. This is also the picture that we saw in court. Again, this picture was a lot more clear. I'm not sure what he's using to upload these images, because they're like even more blurry. This is also the image that they shown of Austin Metcalf walking into the stadium when he had his, like, he walked in and then it was like other boys that walked in behind him. Here is a longer clip. All right, so this clip is a little bit longer of the incident, and I will let me try to zoom in.
I'm gonna make it
for y'all.
Let's
and
see.
Pay attention to the tent. This is a little bit longer. And this video doesn't have sound. All right, you see more boys are standing up. They're not sitting down. Those kids lied in their testimony. Oh, we all were sitting down. It was only Austin that stood up. But the only look, you can see like it's more than one person that put their hands on him from this footage. Again, what we saw in court was not this clear. Let's be clear about that. What we saw in court, I could not see the boys under the tent at all. What we saw in court was very, very grainy. You just saw kind of like blobs or whatever. this video, you can see clearer, and you can see that it does not appear that they're all sitting down and only one person is standing up. That does not look like that. So let me bring it back again so that you guys can see what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna put it
Because
up close. So
even though this is a little bit distorted, this is still better than how we, the public, saw it. Now, again, there was a time in court where they turned off all of the public's videos, the gallery, and they only played the footage, the enhanced version, to the jury. And they only played it one time for them. They didn't like keep playing it over and over and over again. It appeared that they just played like the 11 minutes or however and played it.
Let me pause it for a second. I want to say happy Father's Day to all the fathers. That's partly why I came back today, because I forgot to say it yesterday. I know this is random. I'm sorry, y'all. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, you guys, because I probably won't be on here tomorrow. I wanted to say that, and it slipped my mind already. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers. I hope you guys enjoy your day, y'all. I want to get that out there before I forget, because I be having brain fog, child. I be forgetting. But I wanted to come back and say that. So I hope you guys enjoy your Father's Day and have a great time. Enjoy your day. Please enjoy your day, child. Because, you know, fathers don't get the recognition that they deserve. So happy Father's Day, y'all. I wanted to say that before I forget, before I end this live and forget that. But I hope y'all have a great Father's Day. All right. I just wanted to point that out. But let's continue. Let's continue. Let me make it bigger. Look at the movement. You see it. You could see, look. Oh my goodness. And then they scatter.
All right, let me bring it back for y'all. Somebody in the comments says, oh, you can see a more clear video. Well, send it to me. I'm all about what we can see. I'm telling you right now, in court, I could not see this much. I saw blobs. Okay, I saw there was no movement, and then the kids scattered.
Right. You could clearly see movement by several people. It's not just one person. And then when he exit at the top of that tent, then they scatter. I mean, that's clear. That's clear enough to see. Successful MD, thank you for the super chat. Says they were silent about Chud, Dylan Roof. Oh my God. Deletion of blacks in grocery store in Buffalo, New York. White supremacists in Jacksonville, Florida, and now white firemen. Child, it is what it is. I mean, we see it, you know, it is what it is. I mean, we're not oblivious to these types of things. I mean, that's what it is. Thank you, Successful MD, for pointing that out. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. Hit the like button, y'all. We got 120 people in here, y'all. But only 84 likes. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. Thank you, Successful MD. Let's continue.
That's what we saw in court. This footage that I'm watching, from what I'm looking at, it looks like more than one person is standing up to me. Now, if you see a video that's much clearer than this video, let me know. I'll go to it and we'll play it. Okay? Period. So, let's go back.
Is she playing? I'm gonna pull it.
Valentina says she has it. Send it to me.
Let's look at it bigger.
Y'all tagged me in it. Where? Send it to my Instagram or my messenger on Facebook.
Night Call 411. Thank you for the super chat. Says if the video is distorted and too distant, can context and intent really be determined from it alone? No, you how can you know what the intent and context is if you can't fully see what's happening? At this point, it's assumption. It's assuming something because nobody can clearly see who started, who instigated, who did what. We just see movement, and we only going off of what was said. He said he was defending himself. The guy put his hands on him first, and then he defended himself. That's what he said. And from the looks of this, I mean, we see a multiple movement, and their testimony said Carmelo was sitting and others were standing. So what were they doing? That's what you got to understand. So if you have multiple people over you, what are they doing? Are they, singing happy? Are they singing kumbaya, or what are they telling them? What's going on? And we can't tell from this. I mean, that's just common knowledge. We can't see. We don't know. And if we're talking about the aggressor and intent, I mean, come on now. Thank you, Night Call. I appreciate you. Let's continue. But so they go back to their tent after a rain event, and there's some weirdo. Why is he a weirdo? Why is he a weirdo if he's just sitting there? Because he black? So he's a weirdo because he's black? Because I bet if it was another white boy just sitting there, would that made a difference? How he's a weirdo because he's black? He's just sitting there. He's not doing anything. I mean, I ran track when I was younger, and people just be sitting there. There are people who be sitting under the tents, and nobody bothered them. Nobody don't try to chase them off, or they're just sitting there. If they're not doing anything, what's the problem? Why if somebody's just sitting under a tent and not bothering anybody, what's the problem? What harm are they causing? And why would you consider them a weirdo? I'm just asking. Let's continue.
Someone in the comments says he never said he was jumped. Well, we actually never heard him make a statement at all. Let me know when you saw a statement from Carmelo.
I think people were saying that. Now I did hear. I didn't. So Carmelo, she's saying she was at the courthouse, in the court, and all of this stuff. So she was there. But I don't think he said it. I think people were saying he was jumped. There were people who said that they saw the video and they were saying that he was jumped. So I don't think he said it, but people were saying it. Let's continue.
And I didn't say that he was jumped. It just looks like more than one person body is moving under that tent, and it looked like more than one body is standing up, and it looked like movement from more than just one person.
It does. I mean, it really
I didn't say they jumped him. I didn't say those words.
Right.
I said that it was more than one person that looks like they were standing up. The kids all testified that all of them were sitting down. They said none of us was standing up. The only person that was standing up was Austin. They said all of us sat down the entire time. We all was telling him to get our tent. We don't belong here. Yeah, right. You don't got nothing in that bag. Whoopty whoop. However, that video looks like more than just Austin is standing up, is what I'm saying. But what was consistent, even though each kid had a different version, what was consistent, what every person testified to, was that Carmelo stayed seated the entire time. That Carmelo never got up. That Carmelo only reacted with force when somebody put their hands on him. Now, other than that, there's different variations. Some people say Hunter was involved as far as talking mess to Carmelo, and then there's some people who say Hunter wasn't involved. Some people say Hunter was sitting right next to Austin. Some people say Hunter was a bleacher down. Some people say Hunter was a few bleachers. Like, they all had different variations of Hunter's involvement. They all stated something different that Carmelo was supposed to have said. They all had at the end of their testimony, they all ended off with the prosecution asking them a series of questions. So after every person got off of the are about to be off of the witness stand, the prosecution would ask a series of questions. Who was the aggressor? They would say Carmelo. Who provoked the fight? They would say Carmelo. Was it self-defense? They would say no. Who started this? They would say Carmelo. All of them, each witness would answer those series of questions. It never was objected to, and it never got brought back around to self-defense. And every time I was looking and sitting in the trial, I was thinking, like, why is his defense attorney not asking his series of questions? Why is his defense attorney not bringing it back to self-defense? If they're going to say Carmelo started it, well, how did he start it? How do you start something when you're not the person to say something to somebody first? Why was it never distinguished between authority figure telling you to do something and a peer trying to bully you to do something? The defense never made that distinction. And I'm no lawyer, but I feel like that is like common sense to draw the conclusion, because they brought up testimony in court and they were like, oh, prior to Carmelo going over to the memorial tent, they went to a baseball dugout. And when they went to the baseball dugout, there was this coach who came and told them that they need to leave the dugout. And then the prosecution was like, oh, so he listened to him, no problem, right? He kept making it a point like that they listened to the coach, but they never, the defense, I feel like it was their job to make a distinction on, it's a difference from me listening to an authoritative figure versus me listening to a peer that thinking they bullying somebody or telling me what to do and they have no authority to. There's a clear.
Yeah, I think there is a difference. That's how, a lot of people, there's always a distinction in that. People are like, listen, you don't run this, you don't tell me what to do. So this is where, some would say or argue, get an authority figure, because then I would listen to them because they could tell me to do this and that. But when it comes to your peers, you look at each other as equal footing. Like you can't bully me or tell me what to do. And so usually you wouldn't listen to somebody who is your peer. And that's just across the board. So there is a distinction between that. And, this is another thing that people were speculating about his defense, that the defense, is allegedly friends with the Metcalfs and friends with the judge, and that this is why they didn't push hard. There are people out there who are speculating that the defense was not really trying to win this case. And I mean, based on what she just said, being there, you got to think, like, is there some correlation to that? Is there some truth to it? Because as the defense, you're supposed to point out certain things that would prove, what you're trying to defend. And from what she's saying and what other people are saying, and people have even said in these chats, in my live streams, that his defense was trash. They did not do what they were supposed to do in defending his case, So that's what people have been speculating the whole time. Successful MD, thank you for the super chat, says, subjects often get charged with assault and battery for just touching and resisting with or without violence. Austin was twice the size of Carmelo. Right. Thank you, Successful MD. I appreciate you for that. Thank you for the support. Night Call 411, thank you for the super chat, says, I'm trying to stay unbiased. Right. But this case seems like 85% claims, 10% assumptions, and 5% unclear video evidence. I mean, hey, it is what it is. Night call 411. You know, like I said, all of this is unfortunate. I wish all of this could have been avoided. I really do. I wish it could have been avoided because, you know, I feel like these young men, one lost his life, the other one is going through something that could have all been avoided, in my opinion. You know what I mean? You know, and you can't go back and change things because it's already happened. But I wish this would have never happened. Just like all these other situations of people losing their lives and people deleting folks and doing things. It's just the world we live in is just so crazy. Like, you know, in these types of situations, you see the craziness that comes out of people as a result. You know what I mean? You see how people, you know, these people were getting death threats, both sides of the families. Why is that? I don't understand that. You know, the Carmelo family was getting death threats. The Metcalf family was getting death threats. You got to ask, why is that? Like, you know, this isn't nothing new. It's the same old script over and over and over and over. We can go back in history and this same sort of thing has happened. And you know, you're just like, Jesus, Lord. I just like, Lord Jesus, take the wheel. What is going on out here in these streets? Like, this is crazy. People shouldn't be getting death threats. And, you know, I just wish all of this could have been avoided. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't have happened in the first place. But this is what you argue with in a self-defense case. Like, who started it? Because if it had not been started, then this would have been avoided. There would be no need for anybody to claim self-defense if nobody started it. If it wasn't an approach, if it wasn't started, there would be nothing to defend. People would have gone on with their lives and Carmelo would still be out and this Metcalf young man would still be alive. So you always got to, you know, like even, you know, growing up, you know, like even in school, when somebody is bullying you, if you've ever been bullied in school, you know, you're not bothering anybody. The bully comes to you. The bullies start messing with you and keep messing with you. And as long as you look scared, they keep doing it. The minute you defend yourself, what happens? The kids around in the class, they ask who started. That's the main thing. And when you've been in if you've ever been in these situations, they ask who started it. Who started it? And they say, oh, such and such started it. And then the other person is vindicated because they didn't. Usually the person that started it, either and in many cases, both will get suspended because of the fight. But they or in some cases, they always ask who started because that is the aggressor and that's the person that really has to get dealt with. So, you know, we got to stop starting things. Don't start none and there won't be none. Like that's why I always say in a lot of these cases, you see people walking up to folks, getting in their faces, putting their hand. Why can't people keep their hands to themselves? You know what I mean? Why is it an issue? And it's mind boggling to me. Why do people feel the need to walk up and put their hands on people and get in people's faces? I see this all the time. I see women do this to men, women get in men's faces. Like, come on, you can't really beat a man. Why would you just keep your hands to yourself? You can't go, you just don't know, you can't do that. Stay away from people. People got to stop thinking that they are an authority over other grown people or other people, period. You can't, you're not in control of folks. Why can't you keep your hands to yourself? That's all I'm saying. Thank you, Night Call. I appreciate. That's all I'm saying. I just think I wish if we could start there, I think we might be better off. Successful MD says, I'm not one got authorities. I set up hands down. I think I get what you're saying, Successful MD. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Yeah, we got to start there. People got to learn to stop thinking that they have control and authority over other folks. Keep your goddamn hands to yourself. And a lot of these things could be avoided. Why do people feel the need to do that? I don't understand that part. Let's continue.
Difference
I don't understand
between
that
the two. However, either way it goes, most of those people already had their mind made up before they got on the jury. I sat through every single day of that trial. I was there with bells on. I was in court every single day. Now, up until there was white supremacist, racist goons who came up there after I said and reported the fact that one of the goons filmed me getting in my car, and one of the goons then tried to intimidate me while they had guns on their hip next to my car. After that day, more goons came up there. So that was the final day of testimony when I cried and the Black Panthers was around me. The very next day was the verdict day where they reached the verdict and all that. Due to safety, my mom was petrified. I didn't go back up there to hear closing arguments, but all of the testimony, every single witness, all of the jury selection, all of the evidence, everything that came into the trial, I saw, I was there, and I witnessed in court, and I can expound on it. I have all of these are my notebooks. Okay, all of these are filled from page to page, except for this one. This one is not filled all the way, but these ones right here are filled page to page each day that I attended jury selection, the trial, day 4, day 5, day 8, day 7. Some of them have part 2 days on here. So I was in there every single day. And so let me see. There was another video that also was posted. Hold on one second.
Successful MD says they want to relive the days of color purple. That's crazy. That's crazy. Thank you, Successful MD. I appreciate you. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, y'all. Hit the like button, y'all. Those kids weren't even supposed to be on school property. So what about the tent? They were told not to be on school grounds. I hear people saying that as well. Baby, it's a lot going on, child. It's a lot going on, y'all.
Wait, y'all said that I was tagged in something. Hold on, let me look on Facebook to see what I was tagged in.
Hit the like button, y'all.
1 second, y'all. Facebook. Just look at them. It's you can see, you can tell which ones is the trolls. The one that keep on spamming dumb crap.
Okay. So I think she's just
Let's watch it again.
Okay, so she's just gonna show it again.
As soon as the boy steps out of the tent to the right, look towards the center around here. Right there. Okay, look around here. Look right here. Then he pops up right here. Okay, thank you, Jordan. I'm gonna check it right now.
All right. So I think,
it's like a textbook script. Target Black people, agitate and instigate, and then quickly jump into the victim seat, and then grift all of your racist audience to pay money onto a give, send, go. They all have the same exact script. Target Black people, be the instigators, taunt them, and then when they respond, play the victim, stick your racist, white, bigoted audience on them, and grift for all the money that you can out of them, and claim that you're in fear for your life, claim that you're scared because the Black people have responded to you fucking with them. You won't see the Black people messing with them first. You will always see the reaction and then them switch to victimhood. It is the same script every time. It is the same script. Look at their social media. It's always them posting somebody first, them targeting somebody first. Then when the person responds, oh my God, I'm in fear for my life. They're trying to kill me. Bitch, what? You're not even that relevant. You're not even that relevant to want dead. Like you live a miserable life on your own. Can you imagine a freaking world where you go to sleep and you obsess over another race every single day? The only reason why I've been talking about racist bigots is because of my experience in the last week, but I don't wake up thinking about other races every day. Like, can you imagine the misery? These people are fucking miserable. They're miserable. They go to sleep and wake up and think about Black people. They go to sleep and all they post about is Black people. All they obsess over is Black people. And then they target, oh, I'm just being a journalist. Oh, I'm just doing free speech. That's their favorite. Free speech is their favorite. And anytime we respond or react or try to defend ourselves, it is the same fucking script. Oh my God, Black people are so scary. Oh my God, I fear for my life. Oh my God, they're trying to kill me. Give me money, send it in my gifts and go. Give me money. Oh my God, I'm so scared. It's the same script. Look at all of their pages. Look at Chud the Builder. Look at Jake Lang. Look at the racists that covered the Carmelo Anthony case. They all got a gifts and go. All of them. They all weaponize their audiences onto you after they have targeted you. It is the same script. They go to sleep and wake up and obsess over us. They live a miserable life. Like, how can you enjoy life? I mean, the money got to be good. I seen them gifts and goes jump. But I be thinking, like, even though you're getting money from this grift and your audience is too dumb to realize they're being played, and I don't even think that their audiences care that they're being played. All their audiences know is we hate Black people the same. Like, you hate Black people, I hate Black people too. I got a job, so I can't really say how I really feel about Black people, but let me donate to you so that you can keep telling your hatred for Black people on your page.
Listen. Night Call, thank you for the super chat, says, have you ever felt so strongly about something to find out you were wrong? People in the moment of said event usually answer no, hence bothering people. Thank you, Night Call 411. I appreciate you so much for the support. Once again, this is crazy, y'all. This is why, I say, when you cover things, when you cover stories, thank you, Night Call. I appreciate you, bro. When you cover stories that involve race and is racially motivated, it brings out the worst in people. You know what I mean? And for groups of people who say, who always push the blame one way or another, because like I said, there's no perfect people, period. So there are good and bad in every group of people. But, when you push the narrative that, oh my God, one group is just so worse. But then when stuff like this come up, you see something, you see the worst in everybody. Like, you know what I mean? It's like if you're just only looking at one side, you claim they're the worst, but then the worst comes out in other people. So nobody's exempt. Everybody is bad in that case. Shit. Everybody got some demons and some things that they need to work on. And, if people out here be claiming they're Christians and they believe in God, and I mean, be doing the most ungodly things, and they come at people, all this threatening people and all that over something that doesn't even personally involve you. It's an unfortunate situation. And why, whether people agree or not, why are people who claim to be Christians and godly have come out with the worst things to say about people just because y'all don't agree? And that's where I stand. And For people who, say they're Christians and godly, God sits high and look low. This is why people, I believe in karma. I think karma is real. And I think it definitely has a way of catching up to folks. And we've seen many, many examples of that. So, whatever you do and it's rooted in evil or hatred, racism or whatever, that shit gonna catch up with you. It catches up with folks. I've seen it. And it's like some people don't believe that, but I mean, it has a way of catching up to you. Right is right, wrong is wrong, no matter how you try to distort it, look at it, change it up. And it doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. It doesn't matter but a lot of things that have been done that's wrong, people look at it and don't see it as such. Everybody has a skewed way of looking at things depending on what they want to believe and who they want to protect. And I just think it shouldn't matter, what you look like, where you come from. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And I think people can only see it when they want to, when it's based on a certain group. You see it differently when it's your group, and you see it differently when it's somebody else. So we've seen several instances of situations very similar, and it was a whole different take. I asked a question in one of my last lives. So, people were coming in there, defending, pushing back against the Carmelo Anthony. And they were defending Metcalf, which once again, it's unfortunate that young man lost his life. And it shouldn't have happened. I will say that. But what I'm saying is, when I asked about the other incidents of these young white boys who got into a fight and end up stabbing another young man and him losing his life, I asked if y'all would look at that, if you have the same energy and say, oh, he's a cold-blooded killer, and I got no response. And that's very telling. I mean, if you have a certain viewpoint and if that's how you feel, stand on it, be that way across the board. But this is why you when people talk about, oh, it's not racially motivated the way people think, I call cap. Because I asked the same people who were saying Carmelo is a cold-blooded killer, he went there to do that, and I said, well, do you think the young white men who end up stabbing another young teenager and him passing away, do you think that he was a stone cold killer as well? And I got crickets. Nobody, the same people did not respond and say, yeah, I think he was too, because he brought a knife and he stabbed that young man. You don't see it the same because of race. And I think that's an issue. And so I just think, no matter what your thoughts are on this situation, and you can have a difference of opinion, that's fine. But if you think, oh, if you bring a knife to a school event, which most people said he shouldn't have brought it, and then even if the Metcalf young man walked up and approached him and pushed him, people saying, well, it was a push, you should have pushed him back. You shouldn't have came out with a knife. So the fact that he came out with a knife and stabbed the young man and the man lost his life, they're saying, oh my God, he's guilty. He should go to jail. He's a murderer. Even if you believe that, that's fine. If that's your belief, I'm not arguing with that. If you believe that, then if that's your belief, and if there are other situations that are similar to where it was a fight and one person pulled out a knife and the other one did not have a weapon, and then they got into a fight, do you agree that the same should be held accountable for the other situations with the white young boys who did the same thing? Should that be the same? Do you still have the same energy that they are cold-blooded killers because one pulled out a knife and stabbed the other one in a fight? Both didn't have a weapon. One had a knife, stabbed them. The young man lost his life. Do you see that the same? Because I can respect that, because you're consistent across the board. I can respect it. So if you look at that as the same, I respect that. But if you switch up and you say, oh, well, he stabbed him, but that's a different case, then I'm going to side eye you then. Somebody still pulled out a knife and stabbed another kid and he lost his life in a fight. There's a couple of cases of that. So that's all I'm saying. No matter what was different about it, somebody still stabbed another child and he lost his life. So if we gonna say, oh, he shouldn't have brought the knife, well, if somebody else brings a knife to a school, then that person shouldn't have brought a knife too, right? So nobody should be bringing knives to school to stab somebody, right? Right? So I mean, but I don't get no response. What's going on? Smell the roses. Smell the roses. Every situation is different. You cannot solely base other situations to the situation simply in race. Details matter too. Well, there are similar situations where somebody brought a knife. And this is for the people who say he shouldn't have brought the knife. Well, somebody else had a knife at a school. Okay? In schools, students should not have knives at school. I agree. Students should not be bringing knives to school. I agree, just like you shouldn't be bringing any weapons or anything to school, period. So if you shouldn't be bringing knives to school, then that's across all schools, in with teenagers. Period. We don't have to look at anything else. A knife should not be brought to schools. Can we all agree that nobody should have any type of weapons in schools? If everybody agreed to that, then it doesn't matter who you are or what the situation is. If you got a knife in school, that should be prohibited, right? So no matter the race, no matter what school you at, what the situation is, if you have a weapon at a school and you end up using said weapon to stab another kid, then that person should be held responsible. And that should be something that all of us agree with. Because I wouldn't want to send my children to a school where the kids are able to bring knives and weapons, right? So that should be prohibited across the board. So if any kid has a weapon at a school, then that needs to be looked at. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So if you agree that Carmelo Anthony brought this weapon to this track meet, he should not have had it, right? Maybe we all agree on that. He should not have had it. And then whatever transpired, somebody approached him, whatever, and he used it. If he hadn't had it there, he would not have been able to use it, and the Metcalf, the young man, would be alive, right? Same way in the other two examples that we do have, and I'm sure there's more. There are two other examples out there where knives or weapons were brought to the school and these young men were stabbed multiple times, and lost their life. But we don't hear the same the outcry. We don't hear, oh, they should be in jail for life. They need more. We don't hear that. Why is that? What's the difference between those cases where some kid brought a knife and stabbed a young man multiple times and killed him? What is the difference? He still stabbed somebody. He should not have had the weapon, right? If he didn't have a weapon in the school, it would have been a fight at the most. The same way they're describing with the Carmelo situation. If he hadn't had the knife, it would have been just a fight. Maybe they would have beat his ass, or maybe he would have beat their ass, but everybody would have been alive. And you could just argue who started the fight, right? Right. So in the other situations where it wasn't a black child involved, it was white kids or whatever, do y'all see the same thing? Some kid brought a knife, ended a child's life. If he hadn't had the knife, which he should not have had, if we all agree with that, then those kids would have been alive, right? Right? Exactly. But we know it doesn't happen like that, unfortunately. Case in point is the same case in Belton, right, which is 2.5 hours from Frisco, right, in Texas. We have two instances in Texas where something very similar happened, where another child was stabbed to death. But most people don't want to speak on that. Nobody wants to speak on that. You're not considering that in the same way you're seeing this. Because I'm like, hey, if you could see that the same, I can respect where you're coming from, because I know, oh, that's just, you see it the way I'm seeing it. I don't think anybody should be bringing knives to school. These children shouldn't be having no weapons at schools. We agree on that. But it's not an outcry. It's not a cry out in those cases. And you don't hear people saying, oh, keep them in there for life. They're evil murderers. When that young man was stabbed multiple times in both of the cases. Why do they have knives at schools? It's the same situation, a knife at the school. And it wasn't a track meet outside. It was in the school, the actual school. So, I mean, what do we, that's all I'm saying. Keep the same energy. Keep the same energy. That's all I'm saying. That's the part that I'm pointing out. Like, come on, why is there such a stark difference in cases that are very similar? Night Call, thank you for the super chat, says, unfortunately, pushing a narrative regardless of the direction equals likes, views, sponsors, a check, attention, and revenue. It's about the payday. You know, so, you know, that's all I'm saying. I think once again, thank you, Night Call. I think once again, this is an unfortunate situation, y'all. I said it all the time. You know, this could have been avoided. I don't really don't like covering these type of situations because it's the same old thing over and over and over. Honestly, we see this type of outcome. We see the responses. We see it all. I mean, these aren't new situations. The way people go about them. And it's unfortunate. At the end of the day, it's unfortunate. Somebody mentioned a child losing their life. Listen, I want to pull up this next video, y'all. We're going to move on. Shout out to Nique at Nite. I've been following her for quite some time. I want to pull up this other video, you know, and just to kind of end on a note with the Carmelo Anthony situation. Once again, this is all unfortunate, y'all. You know, everybody gonna have their perspectives and their views on it, and they can, you know, and you know, everybody's not gonna see it the same. But I just think there's some discrepancies in how a lot of these cases are looked at. You know, once again, I cannot ignore the history of this country. I cannot ignore that when you see similar cases that are very similar, no matter how you want to say it's so different. A young white boy stabbed another young child to death with a knife at a school, and you don't see people in outrage about that. And one of them got probation, 10 years probation. The other one got something, 10 years. But in this case, he was a hardcore criminal. He came to that school to do it. When it looks like he didn't come there to bother anybody. He didn't know these people. He was approached, and then this was the outcome. But yet, because he's black, he's so evil, and he's a stone cold killer, went out there to do that. But in the other cases where the young man literally stabbed the other boy several times, maliciously, and they don't see that as, oh my God, it was a malicious intent. And when you look at the case, there's evidence of him actually saying that he wants to end that kid, child. You can't make this shit up. In that case, he literally said he wanted to see that young man in the hospital. He wanted to see him on life support. This is what they found evidence of that young man actually saying, what would lead to more of him actually premeditating the situation. But he's not considered a cold-hearted, bloody murder. He's not considered, what they're saying this kid is. There's a lot of discrepancies. There really are, but we know why. And I'm not oblivious. I'm just calling it out. And nobody wants to call that out. So what do you think that is? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. We know the history of this country. And we know what it is. Whether you agree with the sentencing of Carmelo Anthony, Carmelo Anthony or not, you still got to look at the way these things are set up and why there's such a stark difference between this case and so many others, when you could point to those cases and clearly see that a lot that came out about those seems much worse than this one. There was actual intent there. They could have said that was intentional, or they plan on doing it because there's evidence to point towards that, but there's a different outcome. And then the perception on this one is it's an assumption and that this was it, when there's no evidence to back it up. But also, we know in the court of law, it's not about what's the truth or what's not the truth. It's about what you can prove. And, there are lots of people who have, been, you have the good lawyer who can, defend you properly. And we know that if that's the case, you can get off. But in this case, his defense did not work in his defense. And, he's where he is. But, once again, it is what it is. I mean, there are a lot of comparisons to see how these things play out, but it is, well, there's nothing you can really do about it. You know, this is why I say you gotta protect yourself. I don't care what. You gotta protect yourself. You gotta like pay attention to your surroundings, where you go, who you deal with, and who you are around, because that has a lot to do with a lot of these cases. You know, sometimes it's better to just separate yourself, because, you know, if you know that, you know, there's crazy stuff out here, you got to be careful, and you still got to protect yourself. I don't care, because if you walk around here and not protect yourself, you're going to still be at a disadvantage, because you trust me, other people, there's so many, most people are out here walking around strapped. Most people got a weapon on them. Most people have a gun on them. You got to understand that most people are walking around with a weapon. And then to act as if, oh, self-defense is not a thing, or you shouldn't defend yourself, is absurd. When we know most people are walking around here with a strap with a gun. Most people have weapons on them nowadays. And most of them don't look like us. There are a lot of people that don't look like us who are strapped and ready. So you're not walking around strapped and ready, and you're not ready to protect yourself? Come on now. That's crazy. You have to be able to protect yourself. What's going on? But let's move on, you guys. I want to move on to this next video because I think this was crazy as well. But y'all, look.
I raised my baby up trying to show them.
Hold on 1 second. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, y'all. Please hit the like button. Devon Mitchell, thank you for the super chat, says the multi-tool Carmelo used may have belonged to either Austin or Hunter, and it had their initials on it. Oh my God. That's why it wasn't presented as evidence. See, this is why I'm saying there has to be a retrial, because there's too much conflicting stuff coming out. This is why I say something is off. So you mean to tell me, and then people were saying he didn't bring the knife. He didn't even bring that there, they're saying. So you mean to tell me that was one of their knives? That would change everything. People say, oh, you shouldn't bring it. So he didn't bring the knife? And I heard that too, that it was somebody, one of them with their initials on it? Oh my God. This is why I say, child, this is crazy. This is crazy. That's why there has to be a retrial, because something is not right. Something ain't right, y'all. Devon Mitchell, thank you for the super chat, and thank you for that. I appreciate you. That's crazy. And I'm watching Keisha because she has, bringing up people who were at the case and talking about it as well. And it's just, like I said, something is off. That's why I'm saying something doesn't seem right. That's all I'm saying. Something don't seem right. Divine Photos, thank you for the super chat, says white America's logic. Self-defense don't apply to minorities, but it's okay for them to do it when their life is on the line. Keep your hands to yourself. 100% agree. Keep your hands to yourself. You don't own people. Stop approaching folks thinking you're the authority over somebody. If you think somebody's doing something wrong, call the authorities and let them deal with it, and they can sort it out. But you just can't be walking up on people, messing with folks for no reason, and think people are not going to defend themselves. That's crazy. And they know that, because they wouldn't allow somebody to do that to them. They'll be ready to shoot in a minute. If you even look like you about to do something, they'll be ready to shoot and then claim self-defense and would win. Come on now. Yeah, this is crazy. I think there needs to be a retrial because things just look muddy. Thank you, Divine Photos. I appreciate you for being here, for the support. That way, hopefully they can present all of this new evidence, and let's see what's really happening. And I think it should be open to the public to view, to see what's going on. If he didn't bring that knife, it wasn't his knife, it was somebody else. That come on now. Then it's a lot of conflicting stuff that keeps coming out, and it's just crazy to me. And why are people quitting? They're saying the lawyer or somebody to quit. And all of this. So it's just a lot going on, y'all. A lot going on. It's unfortunate, y'all. It really is. Let's move on. I want to get into this next story, you guys. This was an interesting one too, where this 1-year-old lost his life, child. Let's listen to this because this is crazy to me. But let's get into this story. Y'all let me know your thoughts on it. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, hit the like button, y'all. Check this out.
I raised my baby up trying to show them that he was in the car.
An emotional retelling of events from the mother of this baby boy who was shot and killed by a Senatobia police officer. Thank you so much for joining us tonight at 9. I'm Darcy Thomas. Louis Bolden has the night off. Now, that 1-year-old baby boy was shot Sunday at the Walmart off of Highway 51 in Senatobia, Mississippi. Police said they were responding to a shoplifting call, and the driver of the car drove towards the officers. That's when an officer fired into the car, hitting the baby, Cohen Wiley. Well, today, supporters of baby Cohen and his family have set up a memorial at the Walmart in Senatobia. The store reopened this morning after temporarily closing last night following a protest. Now, that protest was also met with tear gas last night, and Fox 13 was there when officers used the chemicals trying to disperse a crowd that had gathered in front of the door. Fox 13's Rob Sneed and our photographer were both hit with smoke and gas. Rob is back in Senatobia tonight. Rob, baby Cohen's mother is now sharing actually her side of what happened.
This is crazy.
Good evening to you, Darcy. It was very apparent that that mother was very upset, recounting how she witnessed her child dying right in front of her. And as you mentioned yesterday, with the protesters being here at the Walmart here off of 51, the air is much clearer tonight because there aren't anyone here. You have a few law enforcement up here kind of watching the area, but in terms of the amount of demonstrators, protesters that were out here, the amount of police officers, deputies, none of that tonight as business goes on as usual, but still the community wanting transparency.
One of the shots hit him in his rib cage, and the other shots hit her in her arm and her thigh. And we left and went to Senatobia hospital where he was pronounced dead.
A mother reliving her worst moment of her life. In the video, civil rights attorney Ben Crump's office released today. Valasia Wiley says police officers killed her 1-year-old son, Cohen Wiley, during an encounter with law enforcement outside of this Senatobia Walmart. Wiley says she, her son, and another woman were leaving the store when officers approached. She says she tried to show officers that her child was inside the vehicle.
I raised my baby up trying to show them that he was in the car. So she was backing up and she hit a car as I was opening the door, so the door flew back in. By the time I sat my baby down, it was like 3 to 4 shots.
Wiley says gunfire erupted as the vehicle backed away, and she says her son was struck by a bullet. The driver was also hit, and they took Cohen to the hospital where he was pronounced dead.
They tried to say that she forcefully was trying to drive and hit them, but they was all on the right side, and she was driving towards the left. They just personally just shot in the car.
The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is investigating the shooting, and they said it would be transparent. But days later, the officer involved has not been identified. For Cohen's family, the wait for answers continue as they grieve the loss of a little boy who never made it home. And tonight, Wiley also says that she was never charged with a crime. Now tonight, that boy's family, they say that they want accountability and they want answers. Now, this isn't the first time transparency issues in the city have come up. The details coming up on Fox 13 News at 10. Darcy.
Tragic. That is Fox 13's Rob Sneed reporting live in Senatobia tonight. Thank you so much, Rob.
Yeah, this is another unfortunate story. This young little boy, a 1-year-old little boy, lost his life, child shot at. So when do you start shooting at a car because of a theft? So they're alleging that they tried to steal diapers from the store, but what they're saying is later there was a digital receipt. They had actually paid for the diapers, but so when not too long ago, if you guys remember, people were running out of stores with merchandise and nobody was doing anything, which, I don't condone that. I don't think you should be stealing, period. But what they're saying is the diapers were actually paid for. They had a digital receipt. So they must have paid for it and walked out with the diapers and they assumed they took them. And does that mean you start shooting at people if you think that they've stolen something? And just shooting into a car when you jeopardize other lives? So the woman apparently whose son was killed, she wasn't the driver, she was the passenger, and the other woman is, I think, the one that they were claiming had stole these things. But does that warrant you shooting 8 times into the vehicle? Now they're saying I'm going to read from the article. And this is in Jackson, Mississippi. They're saying the fatal shooting of a 1-year-old boy by police who were responding to a shoplifting call this week has ignited simmering tensions between police and Black residents in the small town of Sanatobia, Mississippi. The death of Cohen Wiley is the latest in a series of troubling encounters with police that have outraged community members in recent years. It has led to protests and calls for greater police accountability in the town of 8,000, with some civil rights activists pointing to Cohen's death as another example of a Black life lost over something of nominal value, in this case, allegedly stolen diapers, right? We are treating items on a shelf as more valuable than a child. Bernice King, the daughter of civil rights icon Martin Luther King Jr., said in a statement posted on Instagram on Wednesday, that is not just bad policing. It is a moral collapse, is what she's saying. There are still many unanswered questions about the shooting and what led up to it. Sanatobia police responded to the shoplifting call at a local Walmart on Sunday, where they found 2 women and a child leaving the store, getting into a car and driving away. According to a statement released by the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, officers attempted to stop the vehicle, but the driver drove in the direction of the officers, almost striking one. An officer then discharged their weapon and the vehicle fled the scene. Cohen's mother said her son and her friend who was driving were hit by gunfire. In a video posted on social media Wednesday by civil rights attorney Ben Crump, Wiley said her friend was not driving toward the officers. That's what we just heard, because they were all on the right side and she was driving toward the left. She also disputes the shoplifting claim, saying in the video that she believes her friend paid for the diapers she was carrying. I mean, police expert Ian Adams, who teaches criminal justice at the University of South Carolina, said regardless of the circumstances, the officers should not have fired at the car. Modern policing knows that shooting into a moving vehicle is a very bad idea and one to be avoided at almost all costs, Adams said. For one thing, vehicles have other occupants, which is obviously a concern here in the current case. Cohen was Black, as are his mother and her friend, and the circumstances leading to Cohen's death quickly drew comparisons to another Black mother shot during a response to a shoplifting accusation. In 2023, we did cover the Takia Young case where she was pregnant and she was shot by police in Columbus, Ohio. After they attempted to apprehend her, police said Young, who was also the mother of 2 young sons, got into her car and accelerated in the direction of the officer, who fired at her through the windshield. Both Young and her unborn daughter were killed. The officer in that case was acquitted of criminal charges and found justified in his use of force by a review board. So what's your thoughts on that? Yeah, she did say she believes she paid for the diapers. Now, ma'am, look, you shouldn't be stealing. First off, that's clear. You shouldn't be going into stores stealing. Nobody should be stealing. All right. So that's one. But do you think that if somebody steals, anybody, I'm talking about anybody, do you think that it's justifiable to shoot somebody dead because they are shoplifting? Do y'all think that? Or should they be apprehended and arrested? I mean, if he hadn't shot into the car and they ran off, I mean, police do chases, right? In pursuits of people, right? There are ways to get their information. You could have got the license plate number, and that could have led you right back to where they live. And there's enough information for you to find out where these people live and apprehend them and arrest them if they actually stole something. So stealing, do y'all think that stealing justifies just shooting up people like the Wild Wild West, just shooting them up? And if you do believe that, if this was a white little baby that was killed by police, would you be outraged, or would you say, oh, they shouldn't have been stealing? Because once again, people don't understand the logic when it's just human beings. You got to separate it between white and Black because one seems more important than the other for a lot of people. So that's how you got to do it. Because when you think of an innocent little white baby, people understand. But if it's a Black innocent baby, people seem to not get it. And I'm looking at it whether it's a baby, period. It doesn't matter if you white or Black, it's a baby, period, that was shot up by the police because y'all thought somebody stole some diapers. So is it justifiable to just shoot people? So when we see other groups of people get shot by the police for stealing, how do y'all think that that's okay? So if a white man goes into a store and steals something and they come out and shoot him, do y'all think that's okay? Probably not. Probably not. But y'all don't think that that's going to happen. See? So yeah, I think this was another unfortunate situation that this innocent child had to lose his little life over something so frivolous. You could have followed them, arrested the person if y'all thought they were stealing, or you could have, if they paid for the stuff, you would have found out they paid for it. And then that would have been that. But I mean, to just shoot, and I think they said they shot 8 times into that's crazy. Now you're shooting at people who had nothing to do with it. That I don't think that is a good look, honestly. And it's unfortunate. Rest in peace to that little child. That little child just don't have a life now because of this crazy situation that, nobody should be shoplifting, first off. But does it make a difference if the diapers were paid for? If they have a receipt and they were paid for, then what? It's too late. The damage is already done. Damage is already done. The outcome is a child lost his life. They got shot up over some diapers, and this is what we're doing. So you just go and what you shouldn't be stealing, first off. But there are a lot of people who have been accused of stealing and were not stealing. There are a lot of people who have been apprehended for stealing and then they have the receipt in their hand. And a lot of times when they produce the receipt, they don't get an apology or anything. It's just like, oh, well, we thought wrong, but hey, whatever, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God. When I hear these types of stories, y'all, I just want to go pray. I want to go pray and implore to God what is happening, because we're in an alternate universe. Your people are lost, Lord. Oh my God, I just want to go pray and ask God to do something, because it is a hot mess out in these streets, baby. And it's rampant. It's like every year around a certain time, the foolishness just comes out. And I just want to pray and implore to God, fix it, please, fix it, Jesus. Fix it. Chula Magna, I think that's how you pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Thank you for the super chat. Says, do you have mods, DeeDee? Yeah, I don't worry about mods. I let people say what they want to say. I don't pay attention to that, child. People, because they can have their opinion. It's engagement. It's all good. We have some mods, but no, I don't like them to I like people to have their freedom of speech. I like to go back to the comments and analyze it and look at it just to show you where people at. You can't always let people speak their truth. So you know that it exists. Let people say what they really feel. I like to let people express themselves, and then we highlight these and keep them, just to show where the foolishness comes from. No, you got to let it play out. Thank you for the super chat, though. I appreciate you. Yeah, engagement is good. It is. Thank you for the super chat. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Please hit the like button. But yeah, I just want to go pray and ask God to fix it because it's a lot of craziness in this world. You know what I'm saying? And people are just unhinged and people are just out here doing crazy stuff. But it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out with this whole case. This little baby lost his life for nothing. Didn't even have a chance, Lord, over some diapers. Like, come on now. This is crazy. And every time I see things like this or anything similar, it's just mind-boggling to me. And I just be like, damn, this world is going to hell in a goddamn handbasket. Going to hell in a handbasket. You know what I'm saying? Because my God, you people are thrown off, unhinged, just ungodly. And there's no reeling it in. People are just crazy out here, but once again, it's another unfortunate situation. And we see a lot of these things happening and people just don't have no kind of remorse or no kind of, nothing that points to them having a godly bone in their bodies. People are all just evil out here, child. But let somebody do something to them or their family members. Oh my God, they're going to be like, they gonna be, then that's when all hell breaks loose. Somebody do the same things to oh my God. It's like, no, but people don't have, a lot of people don't have no soul. It's like your soul is lost and dark and dirty. Like you don't have a godly bone. You don't have no type of empathy for the world and human life. Like it's crazy, but they be like praying to Jesus, and you have there's no godliness in us, in some of these people. They just do whatever. You don't care. It's like if you go out into the streets and just start shooting, you're gonna go to jail. I'm pretty sure what would that be called? If you can't go out if a citizen just goes out on the streets and starts shooting, which there's this other situation. What is this other case of this man with the body armor? He goes out in the black community and he just starts shooting. He leaves, come back with body armor, and they just dismiss that like it was done. Children were out there. Children could have got shot. They don't care. It's like, boy, the world is evil. Evil. I'm telling you. Trail Mix 96, thank you for the super chat, says the police thought they were stealing like Chin did that young kid over a bottle of water. Thought he was stealing, shot in the back. No water, shaking my damn head. Right. They just ready to take a life for the most frivolous things. And it's justified. That's why I say, baby, this world is cooked. They're going to hell in a handbasket, baby. If Jesus will come back today, you will see everybody going to hell. Everybody, because people just don't care no more. It's like, my God, like there's no empathy at all. Just a life is don't have no meaning to some of these people. They don't give a damn. I meant the cop not in front of the car. Thank you, Trail Mix. I appreciate you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Hit the like button, y'all. But it's just crazy, y'all. I mean, it's just, this is why I say you have to be careful out in these streets. You have to be mindful of your surroundings, because people are losing their minds. People are experiencing evil demon spirits, and they're just going out here doing anything. And, I just pray that people get their minds right, that people can get some type of peace in their lives and figure out what's important. Because guess what? If you walk around here thinking that you're exempt from this foolishness, you're not. And then these are the very people who be thinking that they're righteous under God, and God will come back and just condemn them all, because and throw them all in the lake of fire. Because it's like, what is going on out here? And it's just a cruel world that we live in, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It really is. It's unfortunate. And we see too many examples of this, and different outcomes over here and different outcomes over here. People see the cruelty and the evilness in the evildoers when it's done to a certain group. If it's done to another group, they don't give a damn. It's like, whatever. So people deserve to be shot in the back for stealing the water, even though they didn't have the water. A child deserves to die because they were suspected of stealing diapers. You shouldn't be stealing, but does that mean you get shot at and damn near killed or get killed for it? No, it doesn't mean that. I wouldn't want to see anybody. I see people stealing. Do they deserve to die for stealing? No, they need to go be arrested, go to jail. That should be the consequence for stealing. You go to jail. Should you die behind stealing? No. There are lots of people who steal. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody came onto your property, just say, and tried to steal from your property, your home, you got to stand your ground. So if somebody come onto your property to steal something for you, in most states, you have the right to stand your ground and shoot them dead. But I think some people understand that. They'll do that because, that person is stealing from me, and that's understood. But I don't know. It's just, that's why, I'm just going to pray, y'all, that people get it together. It's just a hot mess. This world is a hot mess, y'all. There's a lot going on. There's so much going on out here. Food prices are high. The economy is jacked up. How much is gas in y'all state? Gas prices are high. People out here struggling. And when people start struggling, people start losing their minds. I'm just saying. People start struggling. People start tripping and struggling and losing their minds when the money ain't right. When the money is funny, people start acting crazy. You know, it's crazy. I just, it's just, in everybody, it don't matter who you are. Yeah, people start doing crazy shit. When the money is funny, people start acting crazy. That's all I'm saying. Like, people out here need to get it together, no matter who you are, no matter what walk of life you come from. People got to start getting it together. Don't go out here stealing. Even if you're not stealing, sometimes people would assume that you are. So don't go do it. Don't go stealing. Pay for your stuff, have your receipt, record everything that you do. So even if somebody tried to accuse you of something and you didn't do it, you have your proof. Here it is. I'm recording. Do what you need to do to protect yourself. Because a lot of times you're automatically looked at as a perpetrator, even if you're not. So knowing that, start doing things to protect yourself. Record. Did y'all know that there's this app? And I saw this, and I think I'll probably get it for my sons, actually. The app that, when driving, I forget the name of it, but there's an app that you can get when you're driving, that if you're pulled over, and you can automatically pull up, I got to get the name of the app. They're saying there's an app that will be released that you can use to pull up a lawyer when you're being, an actual lawyer to advise you of the law when you're being pulled over by the police. So if you think that your rights are being violated, the lawyer can be there right on your phone, and you can use that to know your rights based on what you're being pulled over for, what they're asking you to do, so that you'll have the law right there so you'll know. I think that's a good app to have because a lot of people don't know the law. And a lot of times, when you're involved in when being pulled over by the police and they're accusing you of something or telling you to get out the car or busting your windows open, you can have that lawyer right there to witness that and advise you on the law and know what's happening along with recording it all. So your rights can be protected so that your rights won't be violated. I think that's something we all need to have because I think it could definitely be an added thing to help you in these situations so that you're not taken advantage of or that you're not being manipulated or that your rights are not violated. So along with recording it, have your dash cam videos, have your recordings, recording. Also make sure you're doing the right things. So if you're accused of something that you didn't do, you can have that lawyer there to advise you of what to do, and you have recordings, and you have a better recourse. I think that is something that will be very, very beneficial. You know what I'm saying? And that's just on another subject, but $5 in Philly, baby, gas prices going up, they go down, they go up. Food is getting high. Like, child, we gotta focus. Let's see. Yeah, it's just a mess out here in these streets, y'all. So once again, make sure that you're not committing crimes. Make sure you're not committing crimes. Like I said, don't commit crimes. I don't care who you are. Don't commit crimes. Do the right thing. If somebody is accusing you of a crime, record. Have your information. That way you can dispute that and you can show, even if they violate you, whatever they do, handle it in a proper way. And that way, if you are being violated, you can have all of your proof and then you can turn around and sue. But if you're out here doing wrong and you get caught, then hell, you get caught. Like, you can't go out here and do what they say, stupid, how they say, do stupid stuff and you get stupid prizes. How you say that? Don't go out here committing crimes. Don't go out here breaking the laws and you should be okay. But we know oftentimes, there in some cases, even if you're doing the right things, you could be accused of it. But just record it, have your proof, and that way, hopefully you're good. But that's step one. Don't go out here doing crazy shit. You won't have to worry about a lot of the issues if you're doing the right thing. So that's all I'm saying. But I still don't think that people need to die because of stealing something. I think life is precious and worth more than that. But also at the same time, if you don't want to be put in a situation like that, make sure you're doing the right thing, but always record. Make sure you're on the up and up so that when somebody accuses you of something, you can prove that you're on the up and up. That's it. That's what you have to do. And that's just that. Play stupid. ID games, win stupid ID prizes. So play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. That's how I go. Blue X. Yeah, so don't go out here. I always say that too. A lot of people put themselves in certain positions, and I think that's on you when you do that. When you put yourself in a position where you're doing the wrong things, well, I mean, sometimes it is what it is. But if you're on the up and up and you're not doing anything, and somebody's just targeting you, then you got to make sure you protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. But y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Listen, shout out to everybody in the building, everybody who supports the channel, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I appreciate y'all for being here. Shout out to everybody who gave super chats or cash apps. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out, you guys. I guess we're gonna continue to watch the Carmelo Anthony situation, y'all, to see how this all unfolds. But I will say to anybody watching this, listen, you got to protect yourself. You got to, by any means necessary, you got to record. Hell, you got to wear camera glasses. Wear those glasses to protect yourself. So anything that occurs, you have it on camera so you can prove that you are innocent and that you can prove your perspective. Because a lot of times, if you don't have that proof, it's going to be difficult to establish that in some cases. So I don't care who you are. Record. Do what you need to do to record, to protect yourself every time you leave the house. Because you just never know what situation you might end up in and how it plays out. And you need to be able to protect yourself and prove that you are protecting yourself. That's what I would advise anybody to do. I would advise my sons to do that, my daughters, when they're out here, record, mind your business. Don't go approaching folks. Don't go over and starting none. But protect yourself, because sometimes you are not the instigator, but you got to protect yourself from people who are. Because some people have this idea in their mind that they control groups of people, that they have authority over grown folks, when that ain't, you don't. We're not in the 40s, 50s, and 60s where you can control people and tell people what to do. Mind your goddamn business. Let people live their lives the way you want to live your life, and stop thinking that you could control folks. Don't put your hands on people. Don't go out here committing crimes. Don't steal. Live your life and do what you're doing. But if the foolishness comes to you, you have to be able to protect yourself. As for anybody, protect yourself. Whether you record. So if the foolishness happens to find you, you have the protections to protect yourself and preserve your life and your family's life. That's it. Just like anybody else will protect and preserve themselves and their families, you have to do the same. That's it. Don't go start none and there won't be none. If it come to you, you got to be ready to protect yourself, just like anybody. So record. I said record. Have your information. Do what you need to do to preserve your life and your family's life. That's it. That's any good citizen or good Samaritan would push that same advice for them and their family. So you got to do the same. Y'all can't be walking around here skipping and thinking that, the world is safe and that people are just out here and all just so great and they care about your well-being, because a lot of people don't. So that's all. That's the advice that I would give. That's it. That's it. No matter who you are, you got to protect yourself, but be smart about it. Don't walk around here thinking that people owe you something. Don't walk around here thinking that everybody got your best interest at heart. Don't walk around here skating and skipping like people care about you. You have to care about yourself more than anybody else. So protect yourself. Camera, record everything. Record. So you have the evidence that you wasn't bothering nobody. Don't go starting shit. Don't go messing with nobody. Don't go out here thinking that, these people care. Stop surrounding yourself with people who don't really give a damn about you. Live your life, protect yourself, and keep it moving. That's all. That's the best advice I can give anybody out here in these streets. That's it. There's nothing else you could do. You can't walk around here skating like it's safe out here in these streets. You can't, and so yeah, that's that. That's just my thoughts on it. Kennard, the DJ, why do you think that's horrible advice? Tell me. Kennard, the DJ, why do you think that is horrible advice? So you don't think people should protect themselves? I think everybody should protect themselves. That's what, this is what the stand your ground law is about. Stand your ground. If somebody is a threat to you, you should be able to stand your ground, right? Shouldn't you be able to stand your ground? That's why that's there. So you don't think that people should protect themselves, Kennard? I'm just speaking in general now, not about anything, just in general. That's crazy. Hell, I think anybody would agree, would say you wouldn't disagree with you should be able to protect yourself. The policy is not to shoot in cars driving away. The cop was not in front of the car. It's on video. Okay. You can no longer get the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, this is crazy, y'all. Yeah, but anyway, y'all, thank y'all once again for being here. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. We're going to just see how this all play out. It is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. It is what it is. We just, we just here talking about it and giving our perspectives. But, whatever the judges and the people involved in all these cases decide, we have no say in it. They're going to look at it for the way they see it and rule accordingly. And then that's just it. We really can't determine what happens in all these cases, or we just the bystanders. We're just the ones looking at it and giving our opinions. That's it. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all once again for being here. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody watching, everybody who supports the channel, y'all. Make sure you are supporting the channel by watching the videos that are already posted on the channel, y'all. Also, make sure you turn on that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content or go live, y'all. Shout out to everybody in the building. Happy Saturday. It is Saturday, y'all. Shout out once again, shout out to all the fathers. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers who are in this chat. Make sure you enjoy your Father's Day, y'all. Have a good time, because I know a lot of fathers don't get recognition, or they're not, we always talk about the mothers and we uplift mothers and always looking for the mothers to get recognition. But I think fathers deserve to be celebrated. So make sure you enjoy your day, live it up, have a good time, chill out, relax. Do whatever you need to do to try to have a good time on Father's Day, all right? So shout out to all the fathers in the building. I appreciate y'all. Enjoy your day, you guys. Y'all, be blessed. Stay safe out here in these streets. And listen, I will catch y'all in the next one, all right? Y'all be safe out in the streets. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah. Later.
It's DeeDeesReactions.